Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. John Bennett lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Russell, Oscar Piastri, and Verstappen, Antonelli, Sainz, Albon, and Lewis Hamilton, Alonso, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Button, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Arvid Lindblad, and Liam Lawson, Hadjar, Perez, Bottas, Behrman, Bortoletto, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Here we go then. The formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
Okay, so with the new power units, make sure you're lifting and coasting before corners, and consider not always going full throttle. Try combining lift and coast into braking with boost out of corners and see if you can find a good balance. So this rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future. Yellow flag. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 24.5 seconds. Tyre condition still looking good. Be careful on those slicks. These conditions are making the line a bit greasy, but we're still nowhere near the changeover point. Okay, so this light rain is going to be with us for a while now. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now. Gap to your teammate behind, 27.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 13th place. Time last lap, 1:49.5. Caution, caution. Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. Light rain will stay with us for at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 36.2 seconds. First position, front of the pack. Leclerc is behind you. Your pit window's now open. Pit window is open. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. Yes, and that's a podium. Excellent drive. The whole team have worked especially hard this weekend, and that, my friend, is a fantastic reward. Well done.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix.